Judge, Miss Ayala tried to contact them at their desks. They did not answer, so I just sent an email to the both of them asking to sign on.
Okay, I'll keep checking my waiting room and see if
Okay.
somebody shows up. So I'm just gonna turn off my mic and my video as soon as I have somebody join us. I will let them in and we can call Mr. Fortson's case.
Thank you, Judge.
Appreciate that open for air, but okay, Marcia, you okay?
So, Mr.
Okay.
Fortson, I'm gonna,
Yes.
can you hear me? I'm just gonna mute
Yes,
my
ma'am.
microphone. So just sit tight. We're just waiting for
Yeah.
the prosecutor, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
We said we can do this. Save a trip on long trip like with Stephanie, especially, and show her the gift for her if you want to. Show her one maybe she may be interested in coming by, right? Thank you a lot, Steve. I never could have, maybe one day to figure out, you can teach me how to do it by myself. We have to take a long time probably to do it, but you got time, different days, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Marcia, you want to learn, don't you, how to do this? With the pictures too? See, this is the full thing, when you can hear and see. I think it's a good feature. Like when you get your mother.
Yes, but
It's not,
oh,
oh, so this, okay. Well,
it's slower than this one.
oh, but you did it before? Did you try the audio and the camera?
Yes, Dad,
All right, but well, don't get mad. I like this one,
I do.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, well, hang in there. You'll be fine. Now we got to get, Steve, will that stick help the other computer one you gave your mother? The stick thing
A little bit, but like I said, the laptop is old.
so it's best just to get a brand new one or something? I mean, we save up for it?
Not really. It functions okay. It's just not the best.
Oh, the best is probably too expensive anyway. Yeah. Well, we can play around with the old one till we learn how to do it right.
All right, so I think we have Lisa joining us.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Hi, Lisa, how are you? Thank you for jumping on early. Appreciate it. So just a couple things. Mr. Fortson, this is going to probably take you a little bit off guard, but because this is a felony case and because the accused has a constitutional right to an open proceeding, we live stream cases on YouTube. I don't know who watches, if anybody watches that, but that's our way of complying with the Constitution and affording you all your rights. So this is being streamed on YouTube. We do put every single felony case on the record. So in a moment, the prosecutor is going to make a record, or Ms. Castle is going to make a record, and we'll call your case and we will address your concerns that you raised in the motion. So Lisa, do you have the case number?
Yes, Judge. This is 18 CF 2496. People were Stephen Fortson. People were represented by Lisa LaBeouf. The defendant is present via Zoom, and we're also joined by Jill Castle on behalf of the Public Defender's Office. This is up on the defendant's pro se motion.
And Ms. Castle, are you adopting Mr. Fortson's motion?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Would you like to be heard on that?
Yes, Judge. Mr. Fortson was placed on 12 months of conditional discharge on September 18th, 2019. His compliance deadline is in just a couple days, June 18th. He has the obligations are court costs and 300 public service hours. I've been in contact with the public service department. They're still working on verifying certain hours. As of right now, they have been able to verify 85 hours. So he was engaging in public service prior to COVID. I'm asking for an extension of 6 months for him to continue engaging in public service. Hopefully the site will open up back soon. That's the North Chicago Public Library. Being that Mr. Fortson is of an older age, he is concerned about going out in public. So I would ask the court to perhaps consider an even longer extension, just so he's not doing so much public service in a week's time, to kind of space it out a little bit more for his own health.
Are you suggesting 6, 8 months?
I'm suggesting 8 months. And then if he finishes prior to that, I can always motion it back up for early termination.
Ms. LaBeouf, do you have any objection to it?
Judge, I don't. We just need to extend the termination date because this case is set to term in September.
Exactly. So I would ask for a termination date of perhaps February with a compliance deadline of January 1st.
Why don't we, the holidays, those opportunities tend to get a little difficult too, to get hours done. So why don't we set a mid-February termination date and an end of January status date. Mr. Fortson, last thing we want you to do is to get sick. So you just need to be careful how you're doing your hours and where you're doing your hours. Are you agreeing, sir, to have your conditional discharge extended to give you time to pull yourself into compliance? You need to say yes or no.
Yes, very much so, Your Honor. Thank you so much, sir.
No worries. Listen, I want to thank you for bringing this to everybody's attention, because if you hadn't, then we enter judgment, and then it's a much more complicated case for your lawyer to unwrap. So you did the right thing by reaching out and asking for the extension. I'm going to extend the defendant's probation.
But thank you for giving me the opportunity, Your Honor.
No problem, sir. Ladies, you pick a date on a, let's say on a Friday in January for status of compliance, and you pick a date in the middle of February for termination. You would put that in an agreed order, or it doesn't have to be agreed. If you would just reduce that to writing, send it to my email. I'll enter the order today.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Fortson, your conditional discharge is extended till February. You should have time to get everything done. If you need anything, stay in contact with Ms. Castle, okay?
Mr. Fortson, I'll be calling you shortly, okay?
I want to thank you all very much for your time and for looking out for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a good day.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, ladies. See you at 10. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Judge.
You want to help me? Thank you.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Judge.
Morning.
Morning.
Karen, long time no see. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Your sign in is a GAL.
I just changed.
If you're going to tell me I have GALs on this call, I'm going to.
No, look, I just renamed it. I'm zooming all over the place.
Yes.
I only have 2 cases on the call for this morning, and I know Karen has 1.
I have a Heckelman.
Yes.
We did Fortson. I have McFarland and Rosa.
Correct.
Ackelman is the one that's mine.
He is in custody, Judge.
All right, and I'm just waiting for the jail to open up here. We are, yes,
I can call McFarland. It's a DOC motion.
okay.
This is 17 CF 2618. It's also accompanying 18 CF 1346 and 19 CF 2104. People were Jason McFarland. People represented by Lisa LaBeouf. The defendant is not present. He's in the Illinois Department of Corrections. And he did file a pro se motion, but the public defender did represent the defendant at sentencing.
Lisa,
That's correct, Judge.
Lisa, you're breaking up, so I got maybe
Oh no.
60% of it, if you want to say that again.
What, all of it?
Yes, not the record. I think we got the record. I just think what you said regarding what the matter is up for.
So this matter is up. The defendant filed a pro se motion for credit. The public defender did represent the defendant at the time of sentencing. I believe Ms. Ayala is here on behalf of the defendant.
Davina, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Are you adopting the pro se motion?
Judge, I haven't seen the pro se motion, so I don't know what the contents say, but I do know that Mr. McFarland was paroled on April 20th. So I don't know if that makes this motion moot at this point.
And Judge, I can just let the Ms. Ayala know it was a motion to get credit for the time that he was in Haymarket. The days that he said he was in Haymarket, it was actually already, half of it was on the credit sheet that he was in jail. So I don't know if he had his days right, but if he's already been paroled, I believe this issue is moot.
All right, then, given the fact that the defendant is at liberty, albeit on parole, I'm going to find that his pleading at this point is moot. I'm going to strike it and the matter will be continued, or the matter will be taken off call. The court has no jurisdiction over it, so.
Thank you, Judge. And that's all I have this morning.
All right, fine work, Davina, thank you. And Hackelman and Rosa are in custody, correct?
Yes, Judge, I'm not sure who Mr. Rosa is represented by. I don't believe the public defender is representing.
I have Nikitas. I will
Okay.
message. If I can find my phone.
All right, I don't know, maybe they were busy in bond court because my video booth is the bond court video booth. Usually they're done by 10, but maybe they got slammed last night.
Yeah, Judge, I do see them using both booths at the YouTube channel for bond court.
Okay, that's great.
And one is now empty, so maybe we can get in.
Well, oddly enough, Lieutenant just texted me. 110 still has 5 more custodies trying to get you one of the others. Who's the one that, Jill, who's your gentleman?
Mr. Hackelman?
Judge, we may be able to waive Mr. Rosales' presence. Mr. Nikitas is in McHenry Courthouse, but also on 2 separate courtroom for Zooms. I'm getting a date.
Okay. I just indicated to the lieutenant that we're ready on Hackelman, so maybe he'll pop up. Let's see. But while I have you guys, as you know, the misdemeanor courtrooms, Karen, this isn't so much for you, but you may,
Oh, okay.
enjoy the banter. The misdemeanor courtrooms open this week, 5 days a week, which means my calendar is a little bit in flux. So starting July 6th, I'm going to change some things around a little bit. So I'm going to try to move my Thursday felony in custody call and pretrial call at 10 and 1:30 respectively. I'm going to try to slide that over till Wednesday, and then just keep my Wednesdays for that big village DUI call. Because Thursday is my big village. Bonnie's interpreting for me, so that's why I look to my left all the time. So just leave that, just CM DUIs for the villages, and then Fridays, I'm going to change Fridays up a little bit as well, where it's just going to be pre-trials, contested motions, motions in limine. And I'm going to do something a little different than what, maybe not, I don't know, you guys will have to tell me. I want to reserve my 1:30s on Fridays for just sort of a trial scheduling conference for the following Monday, so we can line things up Friday afternoon and just hit the ground running on Monday morning if there's trials. So I'll send a copy of it over to you guys this afternoon. But if there are issues with your calendars or if things don't work for you, I don't know, Jill, are you spending time you and Davina spending time in bond court?
We are. We currently have our status dates typically Monday afternoons, but they seem to be also on Fridays as well. So I'm not sure if that changes. Prior to COVID, it was always Monday afternoons.
Well, it'll change because I'll just tell bond court that they have to set them on Monday afternoons, not Friday afternoons. So
yeah, that'd be perfect.
Because I'm sure you want to be in 110 or 120 on Friday afternoon anyhow. So, so Lieutenant just texted me back. 110 has 3 more. So,
Mr. Greg Nikitas indicated that no Rosales or Raul Rosa. Wait, never mind, wrong case. Hold on.
It looks like Raul Rosa.
Grab the wrong one. He's asking to move this for pretrial to June 23rd. Is that a date we have?
It is. It's getting a little beefy on June 23rd. I've got 10 marked down, but that's fine. It's not good, Bonnie? Bonnie's checking for me.
I could ask him for a different date.
Let me just take a look real quick what we got.
44 felonies.
Yeah, I have 44, so not a great day.
Okay, I'll tell him.
But those are cases, not defendants, right? So you figure maybe 20, 25.
Yeah. So, no, maybe more, because she's not.
A lot of related.
So that's just the CF numbers, not CP or CM. That's just
You
CF.
said June 30th. How does that look?
Checking.
40 felonies on that day.
Bad. I could do the 25th.
There's only one 10 o'clock.
Yep. Okay, I'll make a record. He's good with the 25th.
Okay.
This is 19 CF 2125, People versus Raul Rosa. People represented by Lisa LaBeouf. The defendant is in the Lake County Jail and not present on Zoom. His attorney, Greg Nikitas, is also not present and tied up in another courthouse. Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Nikitas and we've agreed to continue this matter to June 25th at 10 a.m.
And I will waive Mr. Rosa's presence for today. When we do, Ms. LaBeouf, just for the record, these proceedings are being conducted via Zoom. Mr. Rosa is in custody. He's not available at the moment. There is the video booth that I use is currently being used for another proceeding. When we do have that video booth available, I do want to let Mr. Rosa know that we moved his case. So I'm going to have you recall it so he's at least advised of what the new date is. I think that's only fair for him. I'll move. Mr. Rosa, oddly enough, is asking for a new attorney. And he's expressed some frustration. So all the more reason I'm going to call it. But for purposes of today, since he wants to hire new counsel or obtain new counsel, I want it called in front of him, or I want the case called when he's in front of me, I beg your pardon. So we'll pass it and recall it when the video booth comes online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So for PTRs, am I supposed to be filing those for Mondays or Thursdays?
Well, it's funny. No, you know what? That's your presentation day, Karen?
Yeah.
I would say file them on Thursday, but starting July 9th. Can you do that?
Okay. Yeah, because I have like 3 to do today.
Okay. Are you guys writing again, Karen?
I've gotten like some revokes. I haven't gotten any DUIs.
Okay.
And then when I send the notice, do you want me to put in like, so for family law for notices where we're like, someone could go to jail, there's like all this like cut and paste language, like you're gonna appear on Zoom, here's the link, blah, blah, blah.
That's a great question. The branch judges are writing the Zoom notice. So they're to have a draft of that to me by today. So can I forward to you, email to you what that looks like once we get it done this week?
Yeah, some of these are gonna term, so I gotta get them out by
Yeah,
today.
you can get them, once you get them filed, you're golden, but
Okay.
I'll get you the notice language sometime this
Sure.
week.
Sounds good.
They do, but we're trying to make it uniform.
Oh,
Yeah, I just texted the lieutenant that I have huge calls the next 2 weeks. So I'm gonna need the video booth.
mhm.
Why does Fix have a morning? Sure why Jerry's trying, but we'll find out. Jerry, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm waiting on my custodies. We don't have you up with anything this morning.
No, I wanted to sit in on that Heckleman that you have up this morning.
Okay,
And Judge, he does currently have a Round Lake Beach traffic as well as a Lake County Sheriff's Office ticket out in Branch. I was going to ask to consolidate. So that's with Mr. Dietz as well.
okay, all right, fair enough. And as soon as we get a video booth downstairs, I'll let you know. So, thanks, guys. So Jerry, just sit tight, okay?
Yep, got it.
Hey, Jerry, while we're waiting, I've been trying to send you an email regarding a Cynthia Ayala. Have you been able to review that?
I don't know. I don't remember getting it.
If I send you a follow-up email today, will you promise to respond? I'll send you an email right now
Okay.
while we're waiting. Thanks.
Just need a prosecutor.
This must be Mr. Rosa, Judge.
I believe so. Mr. Rosa will be with you in one moment, okay? We're waiting on the attorney, the state's attorney.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, Judge.
That's all right, Mr. Love. Thanks for jumping on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Who do we have here in
This
custody?
is Mr. Rosa.
This is 19 CF 2142, People versus Raul Rosa. People represented by Lisa LaBeouf. The defendant is present via Zoom. He's in the Lake County Jail. And Judge, his attorney, Mr. Nikitas, was unavailable today, and we do have a date which he would be available.
And Mr. Rosa, you also filed what you styled as a motion seeking to change your legal representation, indicating that you had not had a court date in 2020. So a couple things. Number one, I'm sorry about that, that it's been that long that it's taken to get you into court. We just began video proceedings starting June 1st. Just so you know, the Supreme Court entered 2 orders that suspended speedy trial, right to a speedy trial. One was entered, I believe, in March or April. The second one was entered in May. The reason I mention that is this: no court proceedings were being held until June 1st. The only court proceedings that were being held were bond hearings and new cases that were coming into the court system, as well as orders of protection and violations of orders of protection. The speedy trial clock is continued suspended. We can't hold jury trials yet. We don't have the ability to comply with social distancing and all those other things that COVID has forced on all of us. What's more than that, today, Mr. Nikitas is unavailable. He was summoned to an in-person court proceeding in McHenry County, Ms. LaBeouf, is that what he said?
Yes, Judge.
So he's tied up literally in another courthouse. So he's unavailable. So what we have done is we looked at our calendar. The first date we have available that's open is June 25th. Ms. LaBeouf, the prosecutor, reached out to Mr. Nikitas to see if he was available on that date. He indicated that he would be. So what I'm inclined to do is enter and continue your motion until next Thursday, and then Mr. Nikitas will be here. But I would recommend that you certainly reach out to him and talk to him about what you filed, and then we'll see where we're at next Thursday, okay?
All right.
You need a phone call, sir? Hang on, Ms. LaBeouf. You need a phone calls?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get you a couple phone calls. Ms. LaBeouf, what did you have?
And for the court and the defendants aware, we did just tender an offer to Mr. Nikitas this morning. I've informed him of the new court date and the defendant's motion. So, and I've asked him to reach out to his client.
Okay, so you reach out to him. He's going to reach out to you with a plea offer. And then we'll see where we're at next Thursday, sir, okay?
Okay, sir.
And we'll get you 2 phone calls as well.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So close.
And so far, we don't get any of the felonies with fatalities.
No, we won't either.
We get traffic tickets with fatalities.
Right.
We don't get
No,
DUIs with fatalities. May have. Yeah, 5 months. Yeah. The girl was, she was only 16, but kind of was the third accident that she had. And there was no drugs or anything. Just an accident.
Karen, you're muted still. And we just need Ms. LaBeouf. Our 2 cases, which should have taken 10 minutes, have taken an hour and 5 minutes. So, Lisa, when you're ready.
I don't have any other cases. I believe these are still misdemeanors.
There isn't a 20 MR 338. I'm not sure if you're handling that or have the file, but there is a fugitive case. I can certainly make a record, Judge.
Thanks, Joe.
This is Barry Hackelman, 20 MR 338, 20 TR 9830, and 19 DT 1546. Defendant is present in the custody of the Lake County Jail. Ms. Karen Baroni on behalf of Fox Lake, Jillian Castle on behalf of Mr. Hackelman. These all come before the court for pretrial, the MR status of extradition. I am asking today, Judge, to bring in 20 TR 14077 and 20 TR 18660 in from branch court. Those both of the dates of offense were back in March. They should have been consolidated when he came through bond court on June 8th. To that end, I'm asking the court to set a cash bond non pro tunc on both of those cases and to set that umbrella bond today.
And Mr. Dietz is also present. Jerry, what village are you on behalf of?
The village around Lake Beach.
And do either of you have an objection to all these matters being consolidated, Ms. Baroni?
Judge, I don't have an objection to them all being consolidated. However, I don't know what bond you'd be asking to set them all at. I do want to make the court aware that I have set my case over to be screened for a felony. I believe Mr. Dietz has as well. Upon just reviewing of the abstract, I do show that there's 19 prior driving while license revoked. And then following my DUI charge, there's now the 3 pending driving while suspended, all DUI based.
And there is, the MR is a Wisconsin MR. It is MR 338. Bond was set at $500,000. I'm going to umbrella that bond at $500,000, although I do need to advise Mr. Hackelman that even if you posted that bond, you wouldn't be released.
Right.
The MR would keep you in custody until such time that Wisconsin came and got you. And then if you left the jurisdiction, it's likely that if you didn't appear, then a warrant would show or be issued for your arrest. So there's, and you lose 10% of whatever you posted on top of all that.
Right.
So,
Court aware of one thing, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hackelman, say that again.
May I just let the court be aware of one thing? I had my Class A CDL. I have no conviction since 2012 till as of right
Mr.
now.
Hackelman, you don't need to say anything right now, okay?
They're not revoked. They're suspended. I haven't been revoked in 20-something years.
Okay, so Mr. Hackelman, when Ms. Castle is trying to suggest that it's not a good idea if you keep talking, I'm going to echo that. It's not that I'm not interested in what you have to say, or Ms. Castle isn't interested in what you have to say. These conversations are better had with your attorney in private.
Yes.
So they're
Can I speak with her in the near future, please?
Well, Ms. Castle, are you going to get over and see Mr. Hackelman?
Yes, Judge. I saw him yesterday in Lake County Jail. I will be visiting him after this court appearance. Just a couple additional matters. I would ask the public defender to be appointed on those 2 cases out in branch court that you had consolidated.
Public defender is appointed on all pending matters.
And I realize the speedy trial statute is suspended right now. I would be seeking leave to file speedy trial demand on all cases. I would ask to file that today, albeit he is in custody. But I would just ask the record reflect that we are demanding trial at this time.
There is another operation of a vehicle without a valid safety certificate charge out there. Where's that from, Bonnie? Do you know?
Volo?
From Volo. So are you asking that that be brought in as well, Ms. Castle?
Sure. I believe that's a petty offense. I'm not.
It's a petty, but
Sure.
it's good to have it all together so you all know what you're dealing with. So I'm going to consolidate that and ask that it be continued to a date in the future with the rest of the cases. I'm sorry, Jill, what did you ask me for? I was talking about.
Just one last thing, I have new developments that are very important that
Mr. Hackelman, we'll talk about those in private at another time.
That's
Okay.
what I'm asking for, if I
Okay.
can speak shortly. Thank you.
And Judge, I just would ask the court to order discovery on those two cases. Ms. Baroni has previously tendered discovery. I'm acknowledging receipt of that discovery with regard to the cases currently before the court.
I'm going to order that the prosecution for all the villages provide Schmidt discovery that may blossom into something more involved by way of felony discovery if the state decides to upgrade. In any event, when would you ladies and gentlemen like this case set for?
Judge, I'm anticipating reviewing this in the next day or two. So if you want to give a short court date, then we can make sure that everything follows.
How about if I set this at 10 o'clock on Thursday, the 2nd of July?
That'll be fine, Judge.
Did you say the July 2nd?
July 2nd, yes. And that'll be at 10 o'clock via Zoom again. I did want to add, because I wanted to flesh out something that Castle said. Mr. Hackelman, there were 2 orders entered by the Illinois Supreme Court that suspended speedy trial, the second one being at the end of May. That second order left it to the discretion of each individual circuit as to whether or not they can safely conduct jury trials. Based on a census that our circuit did, we do not have the physical space at this time to socially distance jurors and keep them safe. What's more than that, Waukegan continues to be a hotspot for COVID positive tests, so much so that a testing facility was set up by the National Guard in a parking lot immediately east of the courthouse. So I will, obviously the speedy trial, you're in custody, that continues to be told per that Supreme Court order. Nevertheless, I'm going to trust that the parties will continue to talk, work towards a resolution. We'll set this on July 2nd at 10 a.m. for further case management conference.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Being that they are still misdemeanors at this time, is the court ordering discovery within 14 days from Run Lake Beach?
I'll email discovery within 14 days of today.
I can send mine over today, Judge.
Okay, very well.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, or Madam Court Reporter, rather, that's the end of the record, but it is a big afternoon call, so I intend on starting that at 10 o'clock sharp, or 1:30 sharp, I beg your pardon. Thanks,
We'll
guys.
probably be on 120, 125.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Right, thanks, Judge.